welcome to the session. So in this particular video, I'll talk about the detailed roadmap for how you can target for any FAANG companies, right? So let's get started that how basically the process will go, what's the very first step that you should do, and after that, what's the complete, I would say, a roadmap in order to go for any product-based companies, okay? Because so many students have demanded this video, so I thought of why not to create this, and this will, I hope, help so many people who want to switch their jobs, or the youngsters or the beginners who are looking for any off-campus job, right? So let's get started. The very first step in case of I would say to crack any of the job is the resume preparation. So I used to categorize it as a very first and the very crucial step. So the very first thing that you have to take care is the resume preparation part. This came under the very first category, I would say. Why? Because many people failed here itself. While creating your resume, you have to think a lot, you have to spend a lot of time on what particular skills you know the most and in what particular things you are very least expertise. So for example, you have a very big achievement, something like, suppose you will be having a very good CGPA in your college. So what you can do is that you can highlight that at the top of your resume. Suppose you did bachelor's or the master's from a very good college, then you can target that particular college and highlight that. Or suppose you won some hackathon, or you basically won some scholarship from any of the foundations. So at that point of time, you can highlight that. What I want to signify here is that the first important thing that you need to take in your head is that you are not going to a company. You are passing your resume, which will be visible to them or to the HR. So it should be something where it should showcase your skills. You have to somehow showcase your skills in your resume. And if it's not that much impressive, obviously you are in a competition with so many people. Then how and why they will choose you? That question should come in your head before giving the resume to any of the company as a referral or as on any other website if you are trying to do that, right? So that is the important step, right? So FAANG interviews roadmap. So the very first thing, the key skill which I have told you is the resume preparation. So you have to prepare your resume. Here, first point I am saying is that highlight the achievements. Highlight any sort of achievements that you have, right? Now, various students in this point can ask from me that what if, ma'am, if we don't have any as such achievement, right? Suppose I am not from a very good college, right? I am belonging from a tier 3 college, and even I didn't participated in as such hackathons, or I didn't have as such scholarship, then what will I write there? At least try to maintain your CGPA as a very good, by saying that it should be greater than 8 at least. That will also a very good thing that you can do for yourself. Apart from that, if you haven't participated till now, you have a lot of opportunities nowadays. You can do open contributions to maybe Stack Overflow or maybe Quora. Means there are so many things. GitHub is the another way. So you can do so many lot of things to the community, and you can highlight that in your resume as well, right? So there is no way where you can make an excuse that I don't have that thing, what should I do? Nowadays, there are a lot of opportunities, I am saying, right? If you will say to me this same thing 10 years before or 15 years before, I would say that yes, you are saying it correctly. But nowadays, it is not happening like that, right? So what I preferably use for the resume preparation is the Overleaf website. It's not something which I am doing a sponsorship here. Specifically, I am saying all those stuffs in this particular video, which I used it personally and I found it very much effective for me, right? It's a personal opinion. I have used Overleaf in order to make my resume starting from my bachelor's. Until now, if a need came, I used to use the Overleaf website only to create a resume. So if you want, you can have a look to that website. There you have to somehow write the code, which you can easily able to write because there are so many templates which are available. You just need to download that template. You just need to upload that inside the Overleaf website. And if you want, you can comment me. I can show you the complete step of that as well. But in this video, because the target is to design a complete roadmap, so we will not focus on much that part. But if you want, I can create a separate video for that as well, right? So Overleaf, I found it pretty much effective. So if you will go towards my profile on LinkedIn, so there I think I have attached the resume of mine. So you can go there and you can see that this is a kind of a resume which you will be able to get very simple, black and white, and that is what I personally like. I don't like the very much highlighted and colorful sort of resume, my personal choice again. And here if you will see, it's not the updated one, but if I will try to show you this resume, here you can see above is my name, then contact number, email ID, my profile. So the two major profiles which are pretty much important is LinkedIn and GitHub. After that, suppose I did my education from IIT Hyderabad. So I have written that. My bachelor's from JP, I have written that. After that, whatsoever your work experience you have. Now suppose there is some student who is having a work experience as a very major thing as comparable to their educational skills. So what you can do? You can maybe in the topmost thing, you can write work experience or the projects as a top front. So whatsoever you think is your good skill in complete your educational background, you should write that as a topmost so that it will just highlight that thing. Similarly, technical skills, what is the scholastic achievement I did, and apart from that, what are the projects that you have. Anyhow, this is a kind of a, I am saying template that you will be able to get if you will create your resume with the help of a Overleaf website, right? That is what I want to show you. After that, suppose you completed your resume, you did your complete research, right? Whenever you are creating any resume, see that for which company you want to create your resume and what kind of skills they are demanding. So always whenever there is a job opening, they will give you the skills required, right? So you have to be very much conscious in that part that whatsoever skills you have writing in your resume and whatsoever skills they are demanding, they should be in a sync. By saying that, it is not like that you don't know the things but you're writing in your resume. You should know that and you should highlight those skills also in your resume. So this will enhance your chances because company will see that whatsoever is our demand, that will be the sync in your resume as well. So it simply means what I want to say here is that research prior for the company demand, for the company's demand, and accordingly you can change your resume according to the demands of the company that they required, right? By saying that, never ever input any fake information. By saying that, I have seen a lot of students who used to write fake technical skills. For example, they don't know anything about big data, but they're writing that they have did a lot of projects in big data. Now, if you're writing any domain, then they're expecting that you should have the knowledge of that. Then you can't say in the interview that you don't have any knowledge, but you did some time later, maybe 5 years back, and you don't remember. This kind of thing will, hamper the trust. And trust and honesty is the major factor in an interview. So that is the few things which you should take care of whenever you are preparing for a resume. Suppose you did that. After that, the next step is the step of a job application, I would say. Now, your resume is created. Now, next part is that you need to apply for the jobs, right? Now, for this particular phase, I would say the second phase of this particular thing, what you can do here is that you can maybe use different kinds of websites. Personally, my favorite is LinkedIn, right? In LinkedIn also, you will see that there are so many job posts are there for each and every company. You can go there, you can check the needs of that company, how much experience do they require, how much, what I would say, skills did they require, and according to that you can connect with the HR of that particular company, or you can connect with within your connections on LinkedIn, those who are working in that company, and you can seek help from them by saying to them that, okay, I am interested in this particular job, there is a vacancy I have seen, so can you please apply the referral for the same? And you will observe that maximum people will not say no, because anyhow they will also get the referral bonus, right? So it's just that you need to go to them and ask the help from them. And when you apply for a referral, the process will be much faster as comparable to when you apply for any particular website. This is what I have observed it personally with the network which I have, right? There are a lot of friends of mine who are working in very good companies, and when they apply via referral, they will be easily able to get that opportunity as comparable to when they apply it to the career websites of every company, right? Apart from that, you have various websites like Naukri.com, and other than that, there are so many. So you can go and you can see the needs and the demands of every company, and according to that, you can apply by sending your resume to the HR, right? Now, okay, this is the very first phase where I would say that you should have these two things in your head. Resume preparation is the key thing, and after your preparation of resume is done, you will start applying for the jobs. Now, where students fail? They apply for a job maybe 5 times or the 6 times in the companies, different companies. And they then cry and they regret that they are not getting any calls. See, competition is high. Probability of getting calls is also low. You should know the facts also. So why to apply only for 5 or 6 companies? Why not to apply for 50 or 60 companies? Why not to apply for 100 companies? According to the companies, you should manipulate your resume and try to apply for as many companies as you can. This is what I would suggest. By saying that, you are increasing the probability of getting a calls, right? And it's not like that you are getting a call and then you will get the offer letter for sure. There is a complete process. So why to take more risk? If you will apply to many companies, you will get calls. Maybe if you are applying for 100 companies, chances are high that you will be able to get the calls from 10 companies. If you are able to get the calls from 10 companies, chances are high that you will be able to get shortlisted for the further rounds in maybe 5 companies. And if you are able to shortlist it for 5 companies, chances are high that you will be able to get you will be able to succeed until the last round of the interview in maybe only 1 or 2 companies, right? This is how in actual reality things will work. Those are the exceptional cases which you will listen on so-called social media, that they used to say that I have applied only on single company called this, I got shortlisted, I got this much package. Yes, this might happen, but these are the exceptions. Don't consider yourself as an exception. Try to see the reality and according to that, work on that, right? So failures are again a part of all these things. Everyone gets the failure before achieving anything big. So that is the thing that you have to consider. You have to, if you will just consider that this thing will happen anyhow, then the regret or the demotivation will be quite less as comparable to those who think that at the very first instance they will be able to get everything, right? So resume preparation done, job application done. Now if suppose they are calling you for that particular profile, you are lucky, means out of maybe 1,000 candidates, maybe you are among maybe 100 or 200. Now the next step comes where I would categorize it as a separate thing. Where what will happen now, the first round will be of the coding round. Now inside this coding round, what usually happened is that they will give you some DSA based questions. By saying DSA, it is data structure and algorithms. Fine. They will be able to give you the questions based on DSA. There might be at most 2 questions of coding round, where there will be test cases for each of the questions. For this particular thing, personally, I like two websites the most. One is the LeetCode platform, where you will be able to get the questions which are very frequently asked in topmost companies. Apart from that, there is a separate platform called Geeks for Geeks. So you can just simply try to see these two platforms, and you will be able to get an idea that what kind of questions they usually ask in the very first coding round, right? Suppose this is what I usually say to every student of mine in the class as well, in the course as well, that suppose you got the topic of array data structure. Why not from that day itself you go to the platform and see that what kind of questions which usually asked in the previous part of the interviews in product-based companies. Why not you to start with that portion itself? Why you are waiting for DP? Why you are waiting for graphs? The actual reality is that maximum instances or maximum number of time, by saying that 90% of the time, they used to ask the questions from very basic data structures called arrays and strings and linked list. They will not go for in much depth until or unless you are in the very last round, or until or unless you are approaching towards Google type of company, right? So this is the actual reality. So first of all, you have to be good with the basics, the fundamentals. After that, approach towards the advanced concepts of DSA. And believe me, DSA is not difficult. It's just the understanding. If you are good in understanding of the concepts, you will be easily able to do the implementation of any of the thing which you are getting. But if you are cramming these stuffs, then obviously it will be difficult for you. So why it's difficult for maximum people? Somehow they might be cramming the concepts, but they are not understanding the reality. They are not understanding the concepts behind that. They are not able to correlate those concepts with the real life application. That's why they are facing the trouble, right? So very first round is the coding round, where two questions, the coding questions will be asked, and in both of the questions there will be separate 6 to 9 test cases which should be passed in order to get that code to be accepted. Apart from that, you will get the MCQ based questions as well. MCQ based questions. In MCQ based questions, suppose if you are applying for a SDE based role, in that particular case you have the questions of DSA or DBMS or computer networks. With these subjects, you will get the MCQ based question to check your knowledge of fundamentals of computer science. If you are applying for maybe data science role, then they can ask you the MCQ based questions as machine learning, deep learning, the basics of that, like overfitting, underfitting, bias, variance, all those stuffs they can ask from you. So the question is, the simple thing is that whether you are applying for SDE roles or you are applying for data science position, DSA is important. This is one of the most important thing which I have listened from various students, that whether DSA is required for data science job roles, or whether DSA is required for front-end job roles, or whether DSA is required for back-end job roles, DSA is required for every role. Because please try to understand that this DSA is helping the interviewer to check your problem-solving skills. That whether you are good in the problem solving skills or not, right? That is the only thing that they want to see from you. Now, whether you implement that in Python or you implement that in Java or JavaScript, they don't care. What they want to see is that are you able to apply the logic, whatsoever you are thinking, in an optimized manner within a very small amount of time and space complexity. That is the only thing that they want to see, right? Suppose you are done with the coding round. After that, there comes I would say, technical round, technical interview round. There comes very next round will be the technical interview round. Let me try to create it in a good manner. So it's a technical interview round. Now here what will happen is that it actually depends on companies to companies. For example, if you are applying for Google type of companies, what they usually do in technical interview rounds is that they will share you a link of Google Doc. simple Google document that we usually use. And inside that document, they will simply write some questions, again based on lead code only. The very first question will be of easy, then step by step they will increase the level of the question according to the knowledge that you have, right? If you're not able to solve the easy problem itself, then they will not ask you the hard problem. But if there is some student who is, they are seeing that they are easily able to solve the easy problem, then step by step they will approach towards the hard problem, right? Initially, they also want to build the confidence in you that, okay, you know these things. Then only step by step you will see that they are moving towards the hard problems. Now, in technical interview round, if you're applying for maybe Amazon type of company, what they usually do is that they will give their own platform and they will give you the link of that. You need to open that link, even in Microsoft as well. And after that, what they usually do is that they will give you the proper problem statement. And then you need to first of all explain the logic behind that. And after that, you need to write the code in such a way that all the test cases should be passed. So this is a kind of a thing which usually happens in a technical interview round. Now, in order to prepare for this round, what I have observed is that maximum students know the logic and maximum students also know how we can do the implementation. The major thing where they are missing is that they don't know how to explain the code. So we as a developer usually have the practice to write the code. We as a developer usually have the knowledge of the concepts of data structure algorithms. But it is also equally important, which I think no one tells us, that you should be able to explain your code. Suppose if you will be able to write a highly optimized code, but you are not explaining in a very beautiful way, that interviewer will be convinced with your answer, then it's of no use, right? There is a lag in that, and I have seen this lag a lot. Communication skills is the very key factor in which is playing a very vital role whenever you are applying for any of the job interviews. It's not about SDE profile or any of the other profiles. It's about any of the profile. If you are applying for, the very first thing that you need to take care of is your communication skills. There are two types of interviews which I usually say to my students. One is where he's questioning the question to you and you are doing an answer. One way it is happening. Another is mutual, where there is a proper conversation which is happening, which is a friendly type of a conversation. You both are so much comfortable, and even at that point of time you will see that interviewer is also helping you in solving a question. He or she is also giving you the hints, because anyhow company also wants the candidate to be hired. Whosoever is taking your interview, they don't have that perception, or they are not coming to just reject you. Always remember, they want you to accept, but for that you need to showcase your skills, you need to showcase your positive attitude, and that's what they're looking for. Very simple. So be humble, be patient, and don't get nervous, be very friendly, and after that you will see that magic starts happening. Even if you don't know the proper answer, convey with the honesty that, okay, this is what I am thinking as of now. Don't be silent while writing the code also. If you are initializing some variable, if you are initializing some list, take it as a story mode that, okay, this is what my head is talking as of now. So whatever your head is saying, whatever you are thinking, you need to convey that to the interviewer, so that interviewer also knows that how you are approaching to a problem. See, interviewer will never appreciate that you are directly coming to the solution. What he will appreciate the most, that with what path you approach to the final solution, with what path you approach to the final optimized approach. That is what he is looking for. For that, what you can do now, for that, the mock interviews is something which is playing a very good role. So you can simply, wherever you think is a very good platform, you can go there and apply for the mock interviews. In this way, this mock interviews will help you to prepare for a technical interview round. You will be able to get a feedback for the same. According to that, you can improve yourself, right? Apart from that, if suppose you will not find any good platform for the mock interview, what you can do is that you can do simply recording of yourself. And after that, if you will listen your voice, your way of approaching the problem, you will see that whether it is convincing or not. You can't lie to yourself, right? You have to think that suppose I am an interviewer and I am taking the interview of that person who is on the screen, recorded screen. Will I accept that particular candidate the way he is approaching, or will I reject? Whatsoever intuition you are getting is the final intuition. And maximum number of time, you can't lie to yourself. Sometimes what happens is that when other person critique to us, we usually get offended. But when we yourself see that what are the mistakes which we did, then we will improve. So that is also another way to approach towards this technical interviews. Suppose after giving the technical interviews, you got selected, right? Now this interview round may vary from 1 to 2 to 3, right? Now suppose you are applying for a SDE role. So what will happen is that there might be 1 or 2 technical interview rounds where the problem statement is given to you and you have to solve that. You have to apply the logic, the pseudocode for that, and after that you need to solve the problem. After that, what will happen? If you are an experienced person, right, there will be a separate system design round which will happen. It might can happen for a fresher as well, but the expectations is not that much high as comparable to someone who is the experienced person. So system design round will happen. In this round, what will happen, they will try to give you some problem statement and they will say to you that how will you design the system. In this way, it will help them to see that how good you are in doing the optimization kind of things. For that, I usually say to everyone that Gaurav Sen's YouTube channel is quite the famous one, which you can refer in order to see that how basically we can approach in an interview for the system design round. For example, if WhatsApp design, Insta design. So how basically from the very first step to the last step we can approach towards that. So this is the system design round which will happen after that, and this is specifically for a highly experienced people. This is must. You have to do good in that. Otherwise, you will lose your chance. After that, what will happen? There is something which we call as behavioral round. Behavioral round, right? In this particular round, what will happen is that they will check your attitude towards working in an organization. For example, they can ask from you that why you left your previous job. What's the concern that you have? In which particular domain you want to work for? Maybe they will give you some scenario and ask you that what particular in this particular situation, what kind of thing that you will take, right? So in a way, they want to check your attitude, I would say, towards your work, and I would say towards the organization as well, right? So this is a kind of a behavioral round, I would say. For example, in Amazon, there is a leadership roles. For that, they will ask the question. So you can just check from the website. You will be able to get that. Once you will be able to clarify the behavioral round, finally, there comes a final offer. Before offer acceptance, there will be a separate HR round where you can have a discussion on the salary part. So what will happen is that if you want, so you can negotiate your salary, and there is a salary negotiation round, I would say, right? Suppose they are giving you some XYZ package and you're not happy with that. You think that you deserve more than that, right? So I have seen a lot of people here as well that they are very much shy while talking about the salary negotiation part, right? Why not? You are somehow, in a market selling your skills, and you work for that. You really work very hard for that. So here, when comes the salary part, if you think that you deserve more than that, if you think that your intentions are correct, if you think that the salary is quite less which they are providing, you should negotiate for that part as well. After doing the salary negotiation, finally, there will be a last thing, which is the offer acceptance. So with the mutual conversation between the HR and the interviewer, whosoever is giving the interview, if they are convinced with each other, then there is an offer letter which will be sent to you, and then you will be able to accept that offer letter. So this is the complete, I would say, roadmap. So this is the phase 1, I would say, where you need to struggle a lot, right? This is the phase 1 where a struggle is really hard, because maximum number of times people don't know how to create a resume. If they create a resume, they don't know how to apply for a job. This is where a struggle will start. Once you will be able to get the tactics that what kind of resume I should prepare, how I should prepare the resume, how I should approach to the HR, how basically I should write the cold emails, right? The way I should approach to the people. These are the skills which I think no one talks about, but these skills are also really important and plays a very important role whenever you are applying for an interviews. After that, the second important thing is this is the phase number 2, I would say, where suppose you will be able to get the calls, your resume is shortlisted. After that, your actual skills that you have will be again, I would say, tested with the help of a coding round, with the help of a technical interview round, with the help of a system design round, with the help of a behavioral round. After that, finally, the salary negotiation part and the offer letter will be released. So this is the complete in detail, I would say, roadmap to crack any of the FAANG interviews, right? So I hope that you like it pretty amazing, because I myself, so whatsoever I am saying here, please pay attention. I am not saying with respect to seeing any YouTuber's video and coming here and saying that. These are my own experiences, right? I have given the interviews to from Google to Microsoft to Amazon, whatsoever company you can think of. I have given the interviews personally to all those companies, and by saying that only, what are the things which I faced, what are the rounds which they took, how basically things will happen, and at what point of time, what platform helped me, this is what I have written here, right? For example, Overlay, for example, Lead Code, for example, Geeks for Geeks, for example, mock interviews, recording of yourself. So these things helped me a lot. By saying that, I used to record before as well, because of my passion in teaching. So I didn't get that much nervousness while giving the interviews in my phase at that point of time, because I usually have the habit to be on camera, to talk about myself, to say the problem statement, to talk about the approaches of any problem, because I am usually interested in DSA. And after that, this factor helped me a lot, that I tried teaching to people, and I try to teach the algorithm in a way that it will be understandable to everyone. So, and that will become my profession also now. So that is a different thing. So here the profession as a passion, I would say, of teaching helped me a lot in cracking a lot of good product-based companies. But if suppose you are not in that profession, if you are not passionate about teaching, that's completely fine. But here you should have a storytelling skills. Otherwise, usually you can assume that one is the movie where there is a straight thing which is happening. Another movie is there where there are a lot of challenges, which is there. Suspense is there. Which movie you like the most? Which movie will be hit? You will say for sure second one, right? So that is simply thing will happen in the interviews as well. You have to make a storytelling kind of a thing where you can say that, okay, these challenges I face the most while talking about the projects. You can say that, okay, I started with this, I studied from these materials, I faced this challenge, this is the motivation, this is the clue, all those stuff you need to talk about in an interview, right? So I hope that this stuff will helping you a lot in cracking your upcoming interview. All the very best for that. Be confident, believe in yourself, and never ever be nervous or doubt yourself. Otherwise, if you are doubting yourself, people will definitely doubt you, right? So with this, happy learning to all. Bye-bye everyone, and I'll see you all in my next upcoming video.